We're about to get you on board the new Bavaria SR33. Now, this is an entry-level model for the SR range, but we're really interested to have a look because we've looked at the SR36, we've looked at the SR41, and a lot of the features that make those boats so great are on this smaller entry-level model. It's a twin engine petrol or diesel sterndrive boat, should hit in excess of 30 knots and has a starting price of around €248,000. It's a 4-berth boat, but there's some changes to the interior compared to the 2-cabin SR36. I'm Carl Richardson, you're watching YachtBuyer. Let's get you on board. It makes sense to start the tour of this SR33 from right here in the cockpit underneath this hardtop. We have a GRP electrically operated sunroof here, but you can have a canvas sunroof which pulls all the way back to here, really opening up this deck. But it's what's underneath it which is probably more interesting. As I say, we have this transom seat, this aft facing lounge with the optional table or storage container. I think the table makes an awful lot of sense. It drops down and you can turn it into a sun pad. Then we have this backrest here which can either be pulled back to create a U-shaped seating opposite this wet bar here, or as we sit here in its aft facing mode, and that is a great feature. It's what we saw on the SR41 and on the SR36, and it's great that Bavaria have worked in such a great transom seat on this entry-level model. Really good deck space all around, standard table here. The wet bar, this boat is designed for you to do your cooking up here in the cockpit, and that makes a lot more sense. You don't want to be cooking below decks where, you know, the steam and the smells are allowed to build up. This is where you want to do your cooking. So we've got a twin hob here, sink, refrigerator and storage space as well, but there is a galley below decks, and that's where obviously your stores can go. So as you come forward, we've got the seating coming all the way round, and then underneath this, the sunroof, be it in this slightly smaller GRP version or this much larger canvas version, we have a little shalong here opposite the Helm Station. So what that means is when you're underway, you can have 1, 2, maybe even 3 people up here with the skipper. Before we leave the cockpit, I just want to point out the deck access. Bavaria have always delivered really great side decks. Some boats of this side don't even have side decks. So we've got steps up to each side, very safe access. You've got grab rail here, the stanchion rails coming right back, and then you've got really comfortably wide side decks leading up to the foredeck anchor platform and sun pad for 3 people, but just good safe access all the way around the boat. So we've now come below decks on the SR33, and what Bavaria have decided to do, and I have to say I think it makes all kinds of sense, is keep this main cabin, this main area open. So on the SR36 we have doors here and a separate forward cabin, but by getting rid of those doors, you can curtain it off, but by getting rid of those doors it allows this whole area to be opened up, and it wins you a bit more space for cabinetry and this sort of lower, it's not quite a galley, there's no cooking down here, but this is where there is a refrigerator, there is a deeper sink. That's actually a larger sink here than we had on the SR36. We've got eyeline storage around here, so this is where your galley stores will live, but do your cooking up in the cockpit wet bar. So if you're only cruising as 2 people, this makes all kinds of sense. So this becomes your owner's cabin. You've got really big double berth forward, you've got your own little mini lounge here, you've got a refrigerator, there's storage all the way around, we've got skylights, hull side windows. So this does feel like it could be seen as an entire cabin if you're cruising as 2. If you're cruising as a family or as 4, we do then have a separate mid-cabin behind its own private door, and importantly Bavaria have managed to work in a nice little seat there, so if you're getting changed or if you just want to get away, that is more than just a place to sleep. We've got a toilet and shower compartment behind here, separate shower compartment with the toilet. And one more thing to point out, which is, as well as all the storage dotted around the boat, of which there is an awful lot under the seats, under the berths, we've also got all this glass, but portholes opened up, and I really like the fact that in the mid cabin there's glass on both sides. There's only one opening port on the port side of the boat. So what Bavaria have done is they put in little hatches into the cockpit and the skylight above. That gives you the airflow coming through the boat. That'll make a big difference if you're cruising on this boat and really living on this boat. So this Bavaria SR33 comes with the option of petrol or diesel sterndrive engines. We're on a diesel boat. This has got the D4 300 horsepower engines from Volvo Penta with the optional joystick. You can have Mercury's diesel engines at 270 horsepower. They also come with a joystick control, looking at around 12 to 15,000 euros for that particular joystick option. Now, with the diesels or the petrols, we're expecting speeds in excess of 30 knots. I'd imagine 32, 33 knots should be pretty straightforward. There is talk of there being a large single engine variant, which will obviously bring the price down, but should still keep that 30 knots absolutely in place. And one thing that I do like that they've added on this, which is an option, we have what Bavaria calling their glass helm. So we have this single piece twin multifunction display screen here. It looks fantastic. It really lights up literally the helm console. Very smart sport steering wheel, twin controls, and I'm glad to see this joystick control aft of the throttle, so you're not leaning over the throttles to get to the joystick control. We have a bolster seat here, a side window. It does feel a little low in this position, so maybe the standing position would be the more natural when you're going along at speed, but generally speaking it's a really nice console, and I like how it just wraps around the helmsman sat here. There's also another window on the other side, so that means that sat here the skipper can communicate with people on those excellent side decks very, very easily. So the engine bay on this Bavaria SR33, very easy to access. We have this single hatch here. It can clip back against the post here to secure it. You've got a ladder down, plenty of space for the twin engines. As I say, you can have twin Mercuries petrols or diesels plus the Volvo Penta diesels that we have here. Down there, the bay is very accessible. You can get right the way to the back of the boat. All the service points are accessible too. And if they do offer a single engine, you're going to have masses of space around that single unit. Batteries over to the port side, and the fuel tank is very central in the boat, running across the beam of the boat. And what that means is that the balance, it's so that regardless of your fuel level, it's not going to affect the trim of the boat too much. So that's the perfect place for it to live. It's a good, easy, accessible bay and plenty of space for those twin engines. So that was the Bavaria SR33. A lot to like with this entry-level sports cruiser. I hope you liked the review. If you did, please do like us. And if you'd like to see more of what we're doing here at the YachtBuyer channel, please do click here. And if you have the time, subscribe by clicking up here. You've been watching the YachtBuyer channel. Thanks very much.